Hey everyone, welcome back to Costa Mukherjee Fine Art channel, where we dive deep into the world of arts and science and decode the common problems with color mixing. Today we are tackling a topic that's puzzled many of us since our childhood days: color mixing. Remember when your teacher told you that the mixing red and blues will make purple, or that yellow and red make orange? Well, many times it turns out that the results aren't as simple as it seems. In fact, the way we are taught about color mixing in school leaves out some pretty important details. In this video, we are going to uncover why the traditional teaching of color mixing doesn't quite add up and what you really need to do to fix that. There are two different processes that are often confused. One is additive mixing, which is all about light, like what happens with screens and stage lighting. And there is subtractive mixing, which deals with pigments like the paints and inks. Additive mixing is when you mix colored lights, you're adding wavelengths together, which is why mixing red, green, and blue light gives you a white. But with pigments, this becomes different. When you mix pigments, they go towards gray, and that is where the problem lies. Eventually, when you mix all the pigments together, they become like a colored black. Generally, this happens because we have very little concept about the mixing of warm and cool colors. So let's look at the mixing of warm and cool colors and how it affects the color mixing. Now, why do subtractive mixing doesn't work sometimes? It's because of not being able to balance the warm and cool colors. Now, if we do an experiment of mixing warm and cool colors, then we'll get this. Now, for instance, we have this brown color. Now, if we add a cooler color, for instance, a blue, in the middle, we are going to have something that we can call as neutral gray color. It looks like a warm black. When the colors gray up too much, we get a black color. If we take this color as a warm color and then this very dark color as our cool color, and mind you, these work very relatively because this is cooler than that one, so we are considering it as cooler. Now, if we mix both of these well, then eventually we'll end up with another colored black color. So this is how all the colors become neutral, like these, turning black or gray, because the mixes were not right. Here, both warm and cool colors are neutralizing each other and eventually going towards black. So if we take this principle in our mixing, then we shall have a better mix. So eventually, you understand that your teachers were not entirely wrong, but it was oversimplified. Today, we'll set the record straight and explore the fascinating world of color science. Now, let's look at something called a split primary. If we think in terms of the temperatures of red, yellow, and blue, then we will get the best mixing results. Let's look at how. We have a color selection called split primary palette. Here, the colors are arranged in accordance with its temperature, warm or cool. There will be warm and cool red, there will be warm and cool blue, and again, warm and cool yellows. If we think in terms of temperatures of the red, yellow, and blue, then we will get the best mixing results. Let's look at how. Now we have a color selection called split primary colors. Here the colors are arranged in accordance with their temperature, warm or cool. So there will be warm and cool reds, warm and cool blues, and warm and cool yellows. So here is the warm yellow, here is the cool yellow, here is the warm red, cool red, and you have warm blue, and here is the cool blue. Now, if we maintain this order and then mix the colors, then we'll get very beautiful results. Now, for instance, if we need a very hot orange, we'll get This is what we will get, which may not be possible mixing with a cool yellow and a warm red. We'll get slightly muted orange, but here we will get a very strong, powerful orange. Similarly, if we mix a cool red with a very warm blue, we will get the best violets, because this warm blue has some amount of red in it, or rather it's violety, and this cool red is actually closer to the violets. So we shall get the best results when we are trying to mix these two colors. Here is our cool red, and when we mix this warm blue, we shall get the best purples or the violets. Now when we add more blue into it, we shall get the violet. Otherwise, if the red is more, then we shall have more purple. You can see the purples are quite vibrant now. If I lift it off, it will be more clear. Now similarly, we shall get the best green when we are mixing a cool yellow and a cool blue. Now for instance, this is our cool yellow, and let's add this cool blue. We shall get the best possible result as green. And when we mix all of them together, we'll get a black. So I'm not showing it here. Now if we denote which one is what, so this is warm yellow, so this is an orange, this is a warm red, this is a cool red, this is a violet or a purple, this is a warm blue, this is a cool blue, this is a green, and this is a cool yellow. Now if we reverse the orders, and if we try to mix all the cool colors, this is a cool color, this is a cool color. If we get these colors to be mixed, if we allow them, we shall get very interesting results. For instance, this is our cool yellow, this is our cool red, cool blue. So here is the yellow again, a slight amount of green into it, but we can ignore that. We are getting a very muted orange. This cool yellow is actually away from this cool red, so we are not getting a very good orange here. Whereas when we had a warm yellow and a warm red, we easily mixed a hot orange. Now let's just add the color saturation a little. Let's see what do we get, but still it's muted. It's somewhere like a brown thing. So we are not getting a decent orange. Whereas, as we have seen, that we can get a very beautiful green while mixing a cool yellow and a cool blue. This is the brightest. So let's look at the violet as well. We shall get a very decent violet or a purple. Let's lift it off so that we can see. Let's mix all the warm colors. Here is our warm yellow. Here is our warm red. Notice the difference between the two. And here is our warm blue. Notice the difference between the two. Now let's see what do we get. Now since we have a yellow already, let's mix them up together. We are getting a very olivey kind of a green, but as expected we shall have a very powerful orange color, because both the colors are pretty nice. But when we mix warm blue with warm red, we are not going to get a good violet color. What we are getting is a very dark neutral color, colored neutral. So you can see that there are various combinations possible. Also, if we mix this cool blue color along with a very warm red color, we shall also get a very colorful, intense black. Let's mix them. Wherever there is a neutral tone, the color is getting neutral. That means that the colors are having a lot of distance to travel. For instance, here you see a neutral color because this blue is very much away from the warm red, whereas this cool blue is actually too far away from this warm red. So they are both actually creating a neutral color. Now, after the split primary, which is quite complex and deals with 6 colors, now if we really limit the primaries to only 3, that is yellow, red, and blue, we need to find out which are the best selections. Now, instead of these 6 colors, if we limit them to maybe 3 colors or 4 colors, then we need to see how we can get the best results. I think the most powerful result that we can get is from this combination that is called warm red, cool yellow, and cool blue. Now let's see how does it work. Now here is your warm red. It's important to notice that there is no perfect red which is like in the middle. Maybe alizarin crimson sometimes, you know, does the job, but alizarin crimson is a fugitive color, so it's very difficult. Now here is your cool red. It's better to do it with a magenta, but at present I don't have a magenta, so let's just go with cool red. Now here is your cool yellow. Now it's better to have a phthalo color, but instead of phthalo color I'm using this Prussian. It's better to have phthalo color and magenta in this. So we are following a palette that is known as CMYK, which actually helps in modern day printing. We are going to see that in a short while. So you have a beautiful green, so there is no tension with green. When you need to have orange, you can have decent orange, but this works with some of the best colors. And if you need to have a violet, then let's mix it with Prussian. This is, let's try to achieve a purple because these colors are very dark and Prussian is a very strong color. Now we are getting there, and let's see, we have a good violet color as well. Okay, so after that, let's look at something called CMY, and there is also a K for darker tones. So that is black. We are not taking black, but what we are going to do is we are going to use a cyan color. So let's see how does it work. Here is our yellow. Now here is cyan, is sort of a magenta, so we can assume that it's a magenta, and let's mix them together. Let's see what are the results. You can see we are getting a bluish tone right away, and if we continue to add the red, we shall get a violet color. Mix this yellow with the red, with the magenta, to be quite honest, because it's CMY, we should be getting a decent orange color. Wouldn't be too powerful, but we should be getting a decent orange. We are going to get an electric green color. So you can see with a red, yellow, blue, if you use them carefully, they can give us pretty good results. Now, whereas there are 2 others, I mean, this one is quite good, and you can use it for any natural circumstances. In general, watercolors, we tend to, paint with more colors, but if you wish to limit this, so I think this should serve you well. Here is a yellow, which is a cool yellow. And then we should have a cool red, maybe alizarin crimson type. So this is an alizarin crimson replacement color. And if we have, say, a common blue, ultramarine, this can create any natural color that is possible. And if we have the brown, maybe a slight bit more saturation. So let's mix them together. When we are mixing them, we are getting a decent, orange. It's not extraordinary, but it works. So when we are mixing this brown with this black, we are getting a neutral color, a warm black. So that is also convenient in the case of oil painting maybe. And again, when we are mixing this cool red color with this ultramarine, which is a warm blue and has a red mixed into it, let's add a little bit more. We are going to get a very powerful violet or a purple. This is very difficult to show in the case of watercolors, and here is our red. Here is our cool red. And when we try to lift this off a little, you can get the understanding of the violet color. So we can get very good results with this. So this is something that is being used by an American artist called Carter. There are many artists who use, similar color. There are many artists who use a similar setup, but now let's see something very different. If we have the zone palette, now let's see what we can do. Now here the yellow is yellow ochre. You can see there is quite a difference between the two. It's a warm, dull colored yellow earthen. Now in terms of zone, we use a very warm red. Well, you can use colors like Venetian red, light red, PR101 type colors in place of this. But I guess these colors were very common in those days. Now we can use the black as well. Let's see how does it turn out in the case of watercolors. I don't know whether anybody has tried zone palette colors, but it should turn out fine. Let's pick up some warm red and mix them together. Again, we have to lift them off a little bit. And let's see what kind of oranges do we make. Well, the oranges are quite earthen, but very beautiful. Whereas the violet, the nature of the color, there is no violet. We are getting an instant brown. Maybe it has some tinge of violet. If we use light red or color similar to that, PR101s, we can get a good enough violet looking color. Now, if you like this video, then please click the like button and also subscribe, and remember to click the bell icon so that you get notified when a new video has been uploaded. And also remember to check out my website www.kaustubamfineart for more paintings. I thank you for your time and take care.